Hello everybody. We're going to go ahead and try this in student view. I'm going through these WAMAP problems 1.2D, F, and G. So this is the TS 053 Unit 1. This is from that set of problems. So I want you to show your work for these when you're doing these. And I'd like you either to write them down on paper and then record a media response, which is where you click here to record a response. And I can't demonstrate that here because I'm using my camera to make this recording, but you can click here and then you can hold up your worksheet to the camera and get it in nice and close so I can see it clearly, and that will work. Okay, so this particular set of problems is multiplication facts using integers, so positive and negative numbers. And in this set, there aren't any zeros, but zero does have some special rules, so you'll have to learn those along with the other integer rules. So what I'd like you to do, I've got these problems on my tablet. So first problem, negative 42 divided by 6. The answer here is negative 7. And I'd like you to state the rule the first time you show it. So negative divided by a positive equals negative. Okay, you can just write it like that. Negative divided by a positive is a negative. Okay, and so right below that we have multiplication, negative times a negative, and that's positive 63. And that is negative times a negative equals positive. Okay, you can just abbreviate those rules. Negative times negative is positive. All right. The next one is an addition rule. And so for these, you can use a number line if you want. This is a positive 9 and a negative 8, and you're combining those. And basically, this is just 9 minus 8, which leaves 1, or positive 1. But you can use different rules. We have, if the signs are different, and we have a positive 9 here and a negative 8, if the signs are different, take the difference between the two numbers, which is 1, and then the number with the greater absolute value, which is a 9, 9 is bigger than 8, is positive. So the sign on this number will also be positive. So you can use that for your reason. Difference. So the difference between numbers and sign of larger number. And that larger number, that's absolute value of that number. So 9 is greater than 8. But sometimes, because we have a negative number, we're not looking at that. We're looking at absolute value. So we're looking at them both as positive. And then the bigger one, whichever the sign is on that number, will be the sign on the number in your answer. Okay. And if that doesn't make sense, you can come back here. There's always an overview here. Multiplication tables, link to Khan Academy. Here's a link to Quizlet where you can go to our classroom and work on the multiplication facts from week 1. That's what we do the first week always. There's also properties of multiplication with links to Khan Academy, and also a PEMDAS link, because addition and subtraction follow their own rules and they are different from multiplication and division. Okay, so let's continue with this, with these problems. And once you've stated the rule once, you don't have to spend any more time on the rules. 3 minus negative 9. So this is subtracting a negative. So you could say subtracting a negative equals addition. So this is 3 plus 9. That's a positive 12. The next one, 0 divided by negative 4. So you can divide 0 by any number, and the answer will always be 0. So 0 divided by any number, 0 divided by x equals 0. Okay, so 0 divided by any number is 0. This is how you can write that rule. And of course, the inverse of this, any number divided by 0 is illegal, and it's undefined. One good trick is up here where it says simplify, type in number. If it says if the answer is undefined, write undefined. That means you will have at least one division by zero problem. So watch for that and try to keep it in mind. If it has the word undefined up here in the instructions, you will have at least one division by zero problem, which the answer, you have to type undefined in this little box. Okay, next problem, -2 minus 8. We've got two negative numbers. We're combining two negative numbers together. We're going to have more negativity. That gives us -10. So you could say negative minus a negative equals more negative. So because this is addition and subtraction, you won't always, it's not always cut and dried. But when you are combining two negative numbers, your answer will be more negative. So it's going to be negative. So you can add those two numbers together. 9 times -6. 9 times 6 is 54. And here you've got a negative times a positive. So let's write that number in. This is going to be negative times positive equals negative. Okay. So up above we had negative times negative gives positive. Negative times positive gives negative. And then in the same way, the inverse operation, division, negative divided by positive, or positive divided by negative, gives a negative. Okay, so the next one, we have a negative times a positive. We already have this rule here, so you can just write your answer, -40. And then -7 minus -4. So subtracting a negative is like adding a positive. This is -7 plus 4, which means the two signs are different. You have a -7, +4. Take the difference between those numbers, which is 3, and then you're working with 7 and 4. 7 is bigger, and it has a negative sign. So the sign that survives to your answer is going to be negative. All right, let's go on to the next one. -10 divided by -2. So this is going to be like this. Negative times negative is positive. Also, negative divided by negative is positive. So -10 divided by -2 is going to be plain old +5. And you can add that positive sign if you want. It's not necessary. But just remember, 0 can never take a positive sign, right? So if you are putting positive signs in here, 0 can't have a sign. It's very special. All right, next one. We got -6 plus 3. Signs are different. We've got -6 and +3. The difference between those two numbers is 3. And 6 has a greater absolute value. It has a negative sign. So a negative sign survives on our answer. Let's see if I can get rid of that. Yeah. So next one, 20 divided by -5. You've got a positive divided by a negative. That's going to be a negative. And 20 divided by 5 is 4. And then the last one, -4 plus -3. You're combining two negatives, so you're going to have more negativity. And that's going to be 7. -7 will be your answer there. So that's how I would like you to do these, and put the rules for the first occurrence of each one. And you can just abbreviate them this way. I want to see that you know what the rule is, okay? If you do that, that'll be great. If you need more practice and you're not sure, this video will be available here. There will be a screenshot of my tablet here. There's some more practice here. And as always, page 2 of the practice has the answers. And this has all 4 operations: multiplication, division, and addition and subtraction. And remember, the rules change slightly for each one. And GED formula sheet is available for every test. Probably not much use here, but take a look at this every once in a while. If you are planning to take the GED, you'll need to know what's on here. That'll mean you don't have to study as much. You won't have to memorize as much, because whatever content is on this sheet, you won't have to memorize. Okay, but it's a good idea to know what's on here so that you can use it efficiently. All right, so that's enough for this explanation. Give these a try, put in your answers, and try submitting your screenshot like this. Of course, it's not going to work. Let me just show you. I think I can do this. Oops. All right, let's try this. So if you just hold yours up to the camera like this and say, you don't even have to say anything. So let me see the whole thing, your answers, and then your explanations. That'll be awesome. And you got to know how to do it in addition to finding the right answer. So if you do that for me, that would be awesome. That'll be very helpful. Okay, I'll put my background back. So go give that a try, and if you run into trouble, send me an email or a text from inside WAMAP.